You got too many cooks living in the kitchen. You don't know what you've been missing.
Okay, hello everyone. Hello everyone out there. This is At the Kitchen Table with Soraida and Friends. Thank you, Angela, Tyler, and Cassidy for being here. Let's introduce to everyone. Angela?
Hi, everyone. I'm Angela Williams. I am the Development Director at Huggins Insurance in Salem.
And where do you live?
Oh, I live in Keizer. I have lived in Keizer for a very long time. I have an awesome husband who is so patient, 3 wonderful kids who love me very much. And we love Keizer. Kids. Smart kids. I love them.
Tyler?
Hi, guys. I'm Tyler Jackson. I live in West Salem. And we have been, my wife and I, Megan, have been married now for 20 years as we're celebrating our anniversary this weekend. It's pretty exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
What anniversary?
20 years.
Oh, wow.
2 decades. Just funny how the time flies, but also like this morning, I was like looking back going, what was I doing then? It was it must have been a good decision. So overall, my daughter goes to West Salem High School, is in the thespian and choir stuff. And she, it's thespian days in downtown Salem today.
Oh, yeah,
so
they're everywhere.
it's so fun. All the different outfits and hairstyles. And then my son just graduated from OSU this week, and he's going to be a worker in the Salem area. He's starting in a week. So he works for Pence Construction and going to be doing things. And it's going to be cool to see like your kid doing things.
And bringing home a check.
Yeah, bringing home a check. And
congrats.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I work at Jackson Jewlers downtown. This is our 80th year.
Holy moly.
Maybe 81. I don't know. It's hard. We lose track of it. It's my 23rd year there. So.
And always been in downtown Salem?
Always one spot.
That's amazing.
Always. It's been crazy to see the way the city has changed in the last 80 years. And we have records of different way the streets were designed, even like not the throughways of Liberty and Commercial, but it used to be more Court and State when they opened. And so those Liberty streets were just kind of an afterthought. They're like, oh yeah, we could push the city to the north a couple blocks. Okay.
Wow.
But now it's back, as a lot of details have showed that State Street is now big again. So
very, very cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Super excited to be here.
And you?
Well, I am Cassidy Troutt. I am owner, along with my husband, of Elite OnSite Fleet Services. We offer fleet maintenance and repair. I also do a lot of volunteer work with our local Salem-Keizer FFA chapter, and I am the mother to 5 children. We are a blended family. Our oldest is about to turn 18, and he's already signed up for the National Guard and going to head off to boot camp after graduation, and bittersweet. But we've got 3 teenage boys and 2 preteen girls, so very active in the schools and what's going on in the community, sports. FFA, 4-H, all that fun stuff.
Which animals do you have at home?
Well, we've got chickens, dogs, cats at home. Out of the barn, we've got llama. We've got, my son just got his goat. We went and got it in California over spring break. He's trying to mix it up at the Marion County Fair, bringing in a transport from California.
Full-size goat or a little miniature?
No, it's a baby right now. It's going to get bigger. Yeah. So get ready for fair and just keeping busy with all the kids.
I love that. They do some great things.
They really do.
How do people get involved in that?
Oh, there's so many ways to get involved. With FFA, it is through the school district. So to be an FFA, you have to be enrolled in a qualified agriculture education program, because it's not just showing animals and leadership skills. These kids go in, and if they follow the animal science course all the way through, they can come out with their veterinary tech license. Certificate.
Wow. So this is through the school district?
Yeah. It's one of their CTE programs they offer over at McKay. Yeah.
I was today years old when I found that out.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, they do a lot
really
of fun
cool
stuff. We our agriculture program, the FFA program over there, actually the last 2 years, I believe, something like 12 of our students were accepted to OSU.
That's really
4
cool.
graduates from last year went over to OSU. we're working on, we got scholarships for our FFA kids going on and everything. So
What is the next level? Like when they go to OSU, is that like for farm management or?
There's so many different fields in
Vets
agriculture. People don't realize that agriculture touches every part of your life, from the makeup you wear, the food that you buy, you know, everything is aligned with agriculture. Sorry. And so they can go into marketing. That's a big one that the kids really like. Agriculture sales. They also like, a lot of our kids go on to veterinary science. That's where most of ours are really focusing their attention. We've got some that want to be veterinarians, some that want to work behind the scenes in animal sciences, and, you know, trying to get new medical technologies through animal science and stuff. So
That sounds like a good profession.
X-rays.
There's
Stuff like
always animals around.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and that's just one
On
aspect.
2 feet or 4.
Yeah.
Yes.
Farrier
Isn't
services, all that
That's the
stuff.
truth. Well, I will introduce myself.
Who are you?
I ask myself that every morning. Who am I? And how did I get here? Well, I'm Soraida Cross. I live here in Keizer. I grew up in California, but I've lived for the last 30 years here in Keizer. Happy Keiserite. Worked for Vips Industries for the last 20. Big volunteer and also a Keizer city councilor. So why are we here? To have healthy conversation like we did when we were growing up, to maybe learn different points of view, but at the end of the day, hug it out, think about it,
Yeah.
and
like
learn
that.
from each other.
Yeah.
You mentioned that before, and I think that's the thing that so many of us want, is to look across the table and have an equal conversation with people and not,
Yeah, we're all humans.
and just
We
come
want
together.
that we all love our kids, and I believe that
Love our communities. And
9% of the people out there are good people with good hearts.
most people don't like Keizer, but you know, some of the Salem people.
and then I kind of think the bridge. Why would you live in West Salem?
Why cross that bridge?
But we can disagree,
I
right?
know.
Yeah. Being different is okay.
Right?
Yeah. It's okay.
What a concept.
Yeah. I love it.
Okay, so I'm going to throw out some topics here, and let's just get into it, because you don't even know the topics, right?
No.
No,
Are you
we
scared?
don't.
I'm a little
bit.
scared.
I'm not. Bring it on.
Let's talk about the Salem City levy that's going to be on the ballot.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
So this is not the one that they tried to pass through council. This is the official.
This is the one that will be on the ballot in May. Like, what do you know?
What do I know?
That they're trying to get another tax measure through on the ballot.
Well said, Cassidy. Well said.
Well, livability levy.
So livability means
What does it mean to you?
more access.
How will this affect you?
A third bridge to West Salem?
I don't believe that
Ah,
is what
dang
it
it.
is. I think this is Center for 50 Plus,
Mm.
library.
Emergency
Fire?
services.
hmm
Yep.
More access to.
And that they'll have to cut, city will have to cut programs.
Okay.
Do you think that'll really happen if we don't pass this?
That's tough.
They're not going to cut staff, right? Usually, like if a company, like a private company, if we run into a budget shortfalls, we have to figure out ways to reduce
Well, I
staff.
did just read, and I don't know if this is factual or not, but the deputy city manager that just left, they're not going to fill that position. So
Okay.
Well, that's scary. Seems like we need to start at the top. And
he was an add-on, I know, in the last
Oh,
2
okay.
years. So we just went with 2. He was a third add-on.
so we do still have a city manager,
Yeah,
but
this
just
is
not
a-
not a.
deputy city manager.
If
And
the
he was
city
in
manager's
addition.
sick. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think the city of Salem does have a deficit,
Mhm.
and that the number it's real, unfortunately. But there will be a time where each department will have to take a hard look at just expenses. And that's a hard thing to do. I mean, even for household budgets now,
Yes.
having to look at, the need versus the want. And I don't know if the levy will go through. That's going to be a hard ask right now for Salem. I think with a lot of that what is going on right now, just uncertainty, to ask for another, I'm going to say the word tax, but it's a levy.
So what do you say, Cassidy? Because
Livability
you've
levy.
kind of said, and I kind with your personality, what do you say when people say, well, if you don't vote for it, you don't like libraries, or you don't like people that are over the Center for 50 Plus? What do you say to that?
Yeah.
Because that's when you can be like monster sized.
It is a tough one, right? Because say my family doesn't necessarily utilize the library or the 50 over center. We obviously do utilize the public safety.
Right.
We
Right.
want that funded. I guess I would be asking, why are they lumping that all into one budget? I think that they're all very different fields and they should be funded separately. And I don't think that you should be trying to leverage money for the library by threatening to reduce public safety.
Amen.
Yeah, that makes sense. And does anyone know how long has the Center of 50 Plus been part of the city expenses? Does anyone know?
Let me think about that.
Yeah.
I believe
'Cause
we
it
have an
doesn't-
intern that might be able to look that up and get back to us.
And
on
that doesn't
one.
mean that I don't think that those things aren't necessary. I mean, for different families, they are. I just don't know if there's a different way to fund them. I know my family would be looking at anywhere from a $300 to $500 a year increase on my property tax. For a family of 5, that's a pretty big hike. However, I understand the necessity for public libraries. Maybe we don't use the Salem library, but my family utilizes the Dallas library at least 3 days a week after school. So, I mean, we do have to try to take into account the effects on our community as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
pros and cons.
I love that.
Yeah. Those are good points that you bring up. My kiddos are a little bit older now, and so we don't use the library. But when they were little, oh boy, we were there a lot. And I know for families with smaller kiddos and kids that just love to read and something for families to do, that's a great place. It does rain a lot in Oregon. And so it's a great place for those kids to be able to learn and be together. And so it is an important piece, I do feel.
Mm-hmm.
I have to agree with Cassidy. I wonder why it's not separate. Like, why are we not dividing these up and looking at them as different pieces? It's hard for my business being in downtown. We are in a unique zone for a lot of mischief, and it's not always bad. It's just there's just always mischief down there from obviously the houseless to the people in the restaurants and bars that get out late and are knuckleheading around downtown. So we definitely have the need for all the enforcement in downtown, and I hope that doesn't get affected by this levy. But I mean, if it is lumped together, it may. So
it's, I think, 16 years?
19
years for
Okay.
Center for 50 Plus.
Okay.
Do we know how many community members utilize it? I mean, these are
I don't
all
know, but I
things
think
that,
these are all good things.
Yeah.
Like, I hope that anyone that's listening to this, that when they're done listening to this podcast, whatever we're talking about, that they're like, hey, we need to ask questions. And
Yeah.
because I do understand that the aging community needs exactly that community.
They do.
A lot of
Right.
people's children move away. Just because I don't utilize those services doesn't mean they're not important. Now, like I said before, though, is the way that we're funding them with the levy the best way to do that? I don't know. I think that's why we have to have these conversations.
yeah,
absolutely gets you thinking, right?
Absolutely.
It does.
Yes.
And maybe we think outside the box. And maybe just because we haven't done it before doesn't mean it, or we have done it one way doesn't mean we can't do it in a different way.
Yeah.
So you said that some of the events are going to be canceled. That this levy, if it's not goes through, like, is it like
I don't know about
park events? Or
I don't know about events. I just know
like the summer fair is going to get canceled.
no,
or-
that's a different bucket. They'll
Okay,
have
good.
little silo buckets.
Good.
So no, but I think that definitely I'm not sure about the part right now. It's just concentrating library, Center for 50 Plus. This whole campaign is being the city isn't paying for this
Sure,
campaign. It's a library foundation.
Okay.
Well, I would also add to that I know an issue a lot of people that I speak with have with libraries nowadays are a lot of the other things going on in the libraries, and they don't want their tax dollars to fund certain agendas and things that are being pushed. So that also has something to do with why people maybe have kind of turned against public libraries lately.
And again, that's why we're talking about it, because disclaimer, it's okay that we all have different opinions, right?
Exactly.
It's okay if you're a vegetarian. I mean, I don't get it, but
I like steak.
right? But we're all a little bit different.
We are.
Right.
Okay. Well, give us something to think about. Ask questions.
So are you going to vote yes or vote no?
Guess what? I live in Keizer. What are you going to vote, Tyler? I can pretty much think about, I'm going to guess what Cassidy is going to vote.
Yeah, I still have a lot of thinking to do on it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And
Obviously,
I think it's an important thing to talk about.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not, at the end of the day, you look at the dollars, you go, yes, with my family and everything. Okay. I could figure out a way to make that work and all that stuff. And if it keeps some things open, but I love the transparency of knowing what it really is going towards. And it's hard because I'll come back to it, like on businesses when they get to a point and they have to restructure and all that stuff. It's complicated that the city doesn't ever think that that's part of their language is every 4 years they need to restructure their system and make sure that everybody that works there is audited and figured out what they're really doing. And, there were a few loopholes in the at-home workforce that I learned through people that I know that work up there at the city hall, and that they were, loved to work at home because they could have free time to do their second job when they were working on their first job. And you're like, well, okay. I mean, we all have things that we mess around with at work, but you probably shouldn't tell anybody that.
No.
But it is. I mean, I hope that this whole thing is going to come down to, okay, we're going to go through the budget finally and look at all these areas and, things that my friend that owns a tire shop here in town talked about, like the waste on tires is crazy. They have studded snow tires, but they don't use them because the big trucks weigh so much that it's not going to stop the truck. They need chains and all that stuff. And so if you're going to already chain them, why are you paying all this money to have studded snow tires put on? You're like, let's save
let's just be efficient.
$100,000.
Let's be efficient with our dollars.
And I think that's what it's going to help, having more business owners on city council. And as mayor, our new mayor has experience in business. She knows how efficiently things can run if they're run correctly. So I think that's going to really help.
And there's not an unlimited pot of gold
There isn't.
at the end of the
She's had to make payroll before.
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good combo. Okay, ready for the next topic?
Let's do it.
Downtown Salem parking.
Whoa.
This is
Dun,
kind of
dun.
a hot topic.
What do you think? Downtown Salem parking now, and how they're doing away with meters, and it's going to have an app starting in July.
There's pros and cons to it. Learning.
Like, are you excited? Are you like, yeah,
I'm
I get to
excited.
use the app?
I could be excited if the app in, the coast, the Bay Area in California, the apps tell you where the open parking spaces are. So you're not driving around trying to
that's
find
nice.
open spaces. It'll be green or red. You can park here.
Super
That
great.
would be great. If you could pay for it on your phone, that's positive.
Yeah.
I hate meters, having to go out in the rain, find the meter, put my money in it, take the ticket back to my car, then get to the business I'm going to. That's a complete inconvenience. But if it's all on an app, I say take the, funds that are being extorted from the business owners downtown and put it on the customers or the employees of those business owners that are, let's be honest, probably taking up most of the street parking. If they want to park for free 8 hours during their shift, go park in a parking garage.
Didn't I hear that they're taking away that tax from the business owners?
Eventually.
Oh, there is no date.
Yeah, we hear 24 months from the implementation. TBD, indeed. You mean we're going to give back
Sometime
$1 million?
in the near future?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
The story right now is that
Delve in the
the
details.
app is going to be like Cassidy was thinking there, is that it's going to come down to helping people tag their car with the app using their license plate number And so I think the idea there is if you move your car and you still have money left on your time, that you can move from spot to spot around downtown and still use the same money because it's tied to your license plate. And so I like that idea because maybe I'm going to go over to GovCup, but then I want to go over to commercial and go down by Pioneer Trust. I want to be able to use my same money that I put in at both spots. And I thought that was helpful. But
I like the idea of knowing where the parking spaces are.
I think it's going to be incredible how many parking spots are available once it starts getting implemented. Because I work downtown, I walk to work many days of the week. I walk by a lot of the same cars, and I see them day in and day out. And I'm like, those trucks go to the construction crew, and those cars go to the guys that work at the hair salon for school.
Interesting.
These are the 6 people that work at the coffee shop near me. It's so crazy. It's the same cars. You see them day in and day out. And we all pay the parking tax and pay upstairs at the Chemeketa Parkade. It's mostly safe. The Right Security has come around now and has teamed up with the city of Salem to do some sort of security on the parking garage. And they've been pretty good. I haven't had much issues. But there are the occasional broken windows. And is it the houseless? Is it a random guy walking through or gal? You never know. The cameras aren't real. So don't tell anyone.
Whoops, you heard it here.
But overall, it's going to be great. I think, we tried it back in the 90s. Then they put in the parking tax to try to bring people down, and the idea that the parking tax money was going to go fund the Main Street Association, which eventually it never did because they didn't really want to let go of the money. And so Main Street money kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And so hopefully that comes back so that we can have a big Main Street Association and do all the activities that they used to do. And the parade's been pretty fun at Christmas. That
was
buddy,
great this last
Derek
year.
Gilbert and Jim Vu started and restarted. And it's been great having that going downtown. And I can't wait for more of that. The Christmas lights are fun. Let's do a summer show. Let's block up some streets in the summer and do a concert series outside of Make Music Day. And,
I kind of miss the outdoor dining. That was one thing during COVID that I could get on board with. I know living in Salem, we do have a lot more rain than in California and stuff. So it's kind of a seasonal thing. Yeah. But it's fun. I like it.
Kind of like Boise. Boise has that whole street of outside dining. That's super cool. State capital to state capital. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
So we're on board with that. I like the name too. Beep, beep, Salem.
Beep, beep.
Yeah.
Beep, beep. Like, get out of my way. Beep, beep.
I would say I would want to make sure that they are going to be giving the businesses that tax credit back, though, because if not, they're just double dipping,
To be
They
determined.
do that?
No.
If that levy doesn't pass,
Never
they're going to keep the
happens,
money.
Cassidy.
Never.
Right. They're like, you will get 20%. Yeah. Well,
I'd love to know
that's-
the number from
yeah.
the capital of how that money is being, if it was a good enough money,
how it's being dispersed.
if they that whole district down there and those big parking garages that are empty now down at the Capitol.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's another. We're getting people thinking here.
I know.
Well, and I know that that's been
Seems like-
brought up too for revenue for the city is having the state pay property taxes on all of their buildings. So,
I don't think
bill
you're allowed to
died.
say that.
I think that bill died.
oh yeah, but doesn't mean we can't stop talking about it.
That's right.
It needs to happen.
Yeah.
Keep that
talking about
conversation going, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is, Cassidy, that is a huge one. I joined a parking task force back in 2006, and it was really one of the major things was all the parking stuff around the Capitol, and it was a lottery system. And you're like, guys, that's crazy. Like people had 3-year, 4-year waiting list to get a parking spot near
Holy
their
moly.
building. And now that they all work from home, they don't really need that issue or they need the parking anymore. So, but we want that property tax. We want all that where, it's the shortfall on that is such a big deal. So I'm hopeful that it's going to keep coming back around again and around again.
Yeah.
Because it is. I mean, if they're not going to be downtown working and coming into downtown to eat, like that was the idea, then we need to get them to come downtown or some way, spend the money in the downtown zone.
Stay, sleep, eat,
But a lot of people probably still live in Salem.
All in downtown Salem.
I mean, I'm excited that the restaurants are coming back because if there's more parking, there's going to be more lunches, like a lot of the spaces,
And then more restaurants will open for lunch.
Yeah,
That's
because
a hard one.
a lot of them have closed now because
Yeah.
they can't get people into the spots and nobody works at the state anymore in person. So there's not those extra walkers. So
That makes sense.
put up your stop sign.
Good combo. Okay, let's get to some positive questions. What is exciting to you about Salem right now? Salem-Keizer. Like, what are you like? This is amazing. Like, this pumps me up.
Oh man, there's, I guess the sun coming out for one.
Yeah.
We're the
That's exciting.
Cleaning your sunglasses? That's
Yes.
positive.
Yes. There's so many fun things going on. I guess we've got some elections coming up. That's going to be exciting and stuff. We've got school board starting to ramp up. We've got city council. I just see so many positive changes in our community over the last 6 months. It's very encouraging. You know, we all sometimes get a little bit beat down over the years whenever you work to improve things and you just don't see it. And then it finally starts coming together and you're like, okay, we got to have patience, but it's going to work. It's going to happen. We're getting the right people in the right positions. We got to keep them engaged. We got to keep the community engaged. And that's just exciting for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's cool.
I'm super excited for Wonderland to open.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just have a big go-kart
Super
race.
excited about that. Yeah.
You're going to lose.
I know. So it's going to be, that's going to be a lot of fun and a place
I feel
for,
like I want to beep, beep, like road runner.
I know,
Yeah.
beep, beep. Just another place for, to hang out and have a good time.
Which game are you going to play first?
You know what? I am a good air hockey player. I know. I'm pretty good, Tyler.
Steady hand.
I know. I do. Keep your
She's
eye
competitive.
on
I
She's
played
not a pinball
pickleball with
wizard.
her.
Oh,
She
my
almost
word.
took me out.
I'm competitive. I try not to be, but
Knock your
I am.
eyelash off.
Right? She almost knocked
almost
something
did.
else out.
So I'm excited about that. I'm excited. This is funny. I'm excited about Burgerville.
Oh, my
yes.
goodness.
It is coming.
We are not on the island anymore.
I
No.
know. I know.
We were like,
I'm excited about their sweet potato fries.
I know. I'm excited about that. Hazelnut milkshakes.
that strawberry shortcake is.
I know. That's another exciting thing too.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have to come over the bridge, though, Tyler.
I don't know. I'll see if I get my boat ready.
Oh, and the Black Bear Diner I just heard about
Yes,
today is
Black
opening
Bear
up at
Diner.
Sherry's. That sounds...
They have yummy.
Those spaces, they're good spots. The Sherry
Right.
spots. I drove by the one out in Kubler last week, and I'm like, this is a cool location. I mean, if
Like
you
right
had
off
somebody
the freeway.
Yeah.
that wanted to like get in there, and I'm glad to hear that Black Bear is coming in. That's a good ad.
That's a
'cause
good ad.
People want to use that space, and it's such a weird shape, though. You know, like how do you start a business where the kitchen's in the middle and everything wraps around it? I mean,
Don't worry. Rich
Maybe-
Duncan Construction is going to
Okay.
do magic with that building. Let me tell you.
He's going to put it up on like a stick and so it can like spin like the Space Needle, or
Over there at the Rich
be
Duncan
amazing.
Construction, there's some amazing minds. Nate
Okay.
Cook.
It's true.
yeah.
So there you
I love
go.
what he did with the masonry building.
That was really good too.
that was cool.
Yeah.
That old foundation they found that was from like 1800s.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He's like an artist.
Yeah. Summer's coming. Summer.
I love Minto Park.
Yeah.
I just-
Movies in the park.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
I love movies in the park. Yeah. So there's a lot of fun things going on in Salem right
Iron
now.
Man is coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That was-
such a huge draw for the
Yeah, it
Visitors
was amazing
Association
watching
and-
Roger Hoy do that last year.
Oh, man. You sent me video of that.
Yeah, just
Did he do
being-
the whole thing?
Yeah,
The whole thing.
right? And
I'm gonna
watching
do-
all
I'm
those
doing the
little
relay.
heads. Like,
I don't even like to
Bob-
watch my mailbox.
I was,
So did
you
they?
did the relay?
I'm doing the relay this year.
What
I'm gonna
part?
Thankfully, just the bike part.
Oh, gosh.
Just the bike part?
That's the easy part.
You have a really nice bike. Roger had like his
Dude, it goes with
sister's 5-year-old bike.
Oh,
I swear
Lord.
it was like 5 or 10 years old. He beat his time beat Topher. Sorry, Topher. From
Sorry,
over at time.
Toph.
But I was like, look at how good you did on the bike ride, Roger. He's like 20 years younger than you.
Well,
He was
Toph was-
determined.
And he had the good bike. You had the bad bike.
Roger, he was definitely determined.
So is
on
he
that
coming
one. It
back
was
for
great.
a repeat?
And now he's waiting until he turns 70, so he's in a different age bracket.
Fair enough. got to age out.
Right. He wants a different age bracket.
It does. I mean,
they're impressive.
Are you
it's a
going to do
60s
it?
crowd.
God, no.
No.
Hey, we're looking for a swimmer. Are you in?
Oh, geez.
No. Watching those swimmers, some of them getting caught in the current.
Oh, yeah,
and
just bob. Get in a little rubber tube and just bounce down. And,
Out there in a flamingo?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
cheerleader.
Yeah.
And then all the
Floating.
thunder happening last year when they were
missing it.
swimming.
Oh, man.
Danae Johnson told me she's going to do it this year.
Yeah, that's not on my bucket list.
Very ambitious.
I can't
Very.
do the whole thing. I mean, the swim, I don't know, the river. It's the Willamette. I mean, if you've lived here
You're
your
wearing
whole
a
life,
suit, Tyler.
you're in the, yeah, but your mouth is still in the Willamette. I mean,
Just so impressive.
Yeah.
They had swimmers that were blind that had people tethered. Like there was just the amount of
That's
people, like
incredible.
just amazing. Like amazing. People
is.
are
And
amazing.
there's a lot of people that come
from all
downtown.
over. Yeah, people come from all over the state. And
I worked in the one of the SAG wagons and a pickup last year, and I was out by the Ankeny Winery, and I was picking up people that had issues with their bikes or maybe crashed, and they were like, "Well, we usually get 1 or 2 people," and so we're out there at 6 a.m. on the day, and all of a sudden we're like, "I think that was lightning." Oh,
Yep.
there was a whole bunch of rain and lightning last year. And so they were really afraid of the swimmers.
Yeah.
And it was like striking.
yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, no, it's 30 miles away. Okay, no, it's 20 miles away. No. I mean, when's the swim over? Oh, the swim's over in like 20 minutes. Well, that's good because it's not very far away now. But it was really cool seeing how orchestrated the Ironman staff was. They were never worried about it. A train came through downtown right when it started. They had scheduled it with all the other train departments, but this one was random. No worry. They didn't stress. They got it all figured out. It was really cool to see. I mean, that's 1,000 people. I had a lady in the pickup from Alabama.
Oh,
She'd
wow.
come out with her husband. They drove out. They stopped along the way, and they did the ride. And he was kind of going a little faster than she was going. And she's like, yeah, I think I'm done.
And I know that Travel Salem has, they take volunteers. So
Oh, yeah.
anybody listening or watching, they always need volunteers for
Oh, great to know.
Ironman.
There's 1,000 racers, then fans, and then maybe you have 2 fans. I mean, that's 3,000 extra people to Salem.
And then the 5 or 6
Keizer.
people that they bring in and all the room nice.
Right.
They stay in the hotels and they come eat at the restaurants. And
yeah, just such a showcase.
fall in love with the beautiful city of Salem.
yeah,
That's
as we all have.
Absolutely.
I mean,
right. So what is, I'm just going off the cuff here. We kind of, we're all pretty cordial today, but what if for people that are listening and maybe they didn't agree with some of the things that we said, what do you have to say? What would you want people to know? Like what, at the end of the day, like something, give me an Angela-ism.
One of the things that I remember, my family, we are Survivor watchers. And so we watch Survivor. And the family reunions, like when the loved ones come up, those get me every time. And so
tears are rolling.
absolutely. And so years ago, there was a player. Her name was Suri. And she said something a long time ago that kind of resonated with me. And she said that she was at home watching Survivor, kind of wanting to do this Survivor thing, but then she thought, I have to get off the couch. And so that was so impactful because if you want to do something, you have to get up and do it. If you want to see change, you have to be the change. You have to start somewhere. And maybe that's just volunteering somewhere or just learning about the thing that you want to be more interested in or ask questions. It's just that was a lot for me. And I took that and I apply it to my life now. And so there's a difference between, for me, complaining, or maybe having an opinion, but finding a solution or having a solution or saying, has anyone tried this? And also for me, the concept of leaving something better than when you found it, that is very, that means a lot in our house. We live by that. in a lot of different ways. So those would be my little Angela-isms.
Well said. What are you going to do after that, Tyler? What do you got?
Boom, Tyler.
That's what we call a mic drop.
I'm going to eat a chocolate here and just salute. Congrats. Oh, wow. Surrey.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Suri. She was really good. I don't remember which season it was, but it was...
Did she make it to the end?
She's played 2 seasons, and on one of the seasons she did.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful. I mean, the whole idea of those shows are amazing.
Yeah, it's about endurance. It's about...
Could you do it?
It's about... You know what? I think I could do Survivor. Here's my problem. The food thing. I don't know if I can go more than 24 hours without food. And then for me to eat a worm? Are you kidding me? That's the part I don't know if I could do. I mean, if push came to shove, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
You are a hard one to fall. Come on. Okay, so one of my favorite things is I love meeting new people. I love people. And, it's so funny. It's like I'm having a party and my wife's like, who are all these people? I'm like, they're just people I know. I mean, some of them are friends. Some of them are closer. Some are just buds. And
some I don't know.
Some I don't know yet. And I'm looking forward to it. And I'm lucky that I still like to meet new people and see where they're at and see what they're interested in. And Salem always seems to be bringing in new people. You go around and see other cities and, what draws people in. And in a lot of ways, we're lucky because we do have some big industries that are bringing people still to Salem. We can talk bad about the state government, but they do bring a lot of people to Salem.
Yeah.
And they may work from home, but they also do participate in the community. And at some point, they'll have to go back to work in town. So they may have to live closer. But then we also get a lot through the hospital. A lot of neat people that come through and educated and capable that are very fun to talk to, that have lived in other parts of the world and, may have been some form of an immigrant that have come here on some sort of a visa to get into America and went to school here and now work at Salem Hospital and that's very interesting to see. And I do love that about Salem. We still get to be around each other. They don't really spread out to the outskirts as often. They stay in the core. They live in Keizer.
Only the best.
I like it.
But it's limited because there's too small. You can't grow Keizer.
No grow Keizer.
Yeah.
That's another topic for another day.
Well, we got time. Yeah.
What do you got?
Well, I know it's kind of cliche, but I really just have to say we got to really focus on our youth and our kids, and they're the future. And we got to keep driving that one home, because if we don't start investing in our kids, we're not going to have a community. And if our schools keep going in the direction they're going, we're not going to be able to sustain the community as we know it. We all are pretty aware of what's going on in our school system here in Oregon and Salem specifically. So I would just really, really push to get involved, get into schools, volunteer, learn what your kids are, learning about, and, find out what extracurricular leadership programs you can get involved with and help the kids do that too, because we gotta raise leaders.
That's right.
They got to ask questions. They got to not be afraid.
Raise leaders, ask questions,
meet new people,
and it's okay to disagree.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
And leave it better than we found it.
Right. Thank you all for being here. Angela, Cassidy,
Tyler.
Maybe.
Happy anniversary, 25th anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
No, it's only 20. It's going to take an act of God to make it a 25. No.
By your wife.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Thanks, Soraida.
Big shout out and a big thank you to Valor Mentoring that recorded the video and audio for this podcast, Changing Lives That Change Lives. And thank you to Remodeling by Classic Homes for sponsoring this podcast. Thank you so much for joining us at the kitchen table with Soraida and Friends. Please follow us on social media. You can find this podcast on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcasts.